past few months have seems like it's been a little bit rocky. They were not spending time together over the course of the summer. They were not. I think they were vacationing in separate places. There was a lot of news reports that Jennifer Lopez was vacationing in Italy, and then Ben Affleck was in a different location sometime during the course of the summer and spending a little bit of time apart. They also listed their mansion for sale. They had a $60 million mansion that they had purchased during their marriage, and they went ahead and listed it for sale in an attempt. I don't know if it was because of the pending divorce or if it was something that they knew that was coming. It's hard to say. Myself personally, I'm a divorce lawyer in Tampa, and so looking at these different celebrity divorces, it's always kind of interesting to me. And um, eh, I had done a video a couple weeks ago, posted that saying that I figured when they would actually file, that they would have a full settlement, they'd have a full agreement, they would have everything all completely ironed out. Because that's a lot of times in a lot of these celebrity cases, that's what happened. And I use, kind of one of the more recent ones was Tom Brady, his divorce with Giselle. When they filed it, it was just, everything was taken care of very quickly. So now the difference, obviously, in this situation is that in this case, it's a little bit different because that was obviously something that they had previously been working on, and they've been working on negotiating, and then they went ahead and filed the settlement agreement that they had been working on, and that's Tom Brady and Giselle. But for Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, a lot of the stories and a lot of the information out there has said that they have been negotiating, they have been working on trying to come to some type of a resolution, and they were not able to come to a resolution. They were not able to come to a settlement, and that was the problem, and that's kind of why they're at where they're at is they are having to file now because they were not able to come to a resolution. They were not able to come to a settlement. So that's unfortunately they probably after months of negotiating and having attorneys going back and forth and trying to figure it out, they're left with the situation where kind of where they're at right now is um, they've been doing this and working on trying to settle and working on trying to negotiate for a couple months, and then they have, I mean, at least to the outside world, nothing to show for it because now it's Jennifer Lopez having to go ahead and file, and the reports are showing, TMZ is the one that broke it today. They broke the story, basically that Jennifer Lopez filed on her own, so she didn't use a divorce attorney to file. And we're going to do some different videos about this and kind of go through it. And this is obviously breaking news that just broke today. Nobody was expecting August 20th that Jennifer Lopez would just go and file on her own. Just like I said, without an attorney. Just they call it in California, they call it pro pair. It's called, I'm a Florida divorce lawyer. In Florida, it's called pro se. So it's a little bit different over here. It's basically when you're filing on your own. You're filing the divorce proceeding on your own, and you're not using an attorney to file the divorce proceeding. You're filing it basically, as they call it in California, pro pair. So and it's more towards Latin terminology. And I know that part of it's super boring, but as a divorce lawyer, it's important for me because I look at the aspect behind it of like, why would somebody that's worth, I don't know, what is she worth? Hundreds of millions of dollars? Let me Google it. Jennifer Lopez net worth. And I'm sure that's the best way to do any of this, right? Google it for, um, they're saying hundreds of million, 400 million, 500 million, 600 million. I don't know, somewhere in that, a lot, so there's a Daily Mail article saying among, six to $700 million estate, total net worth. So, how much of that is Jennifer Lopez and how much of that is Ben Affleck? Obviously that will, kind of remain to be seen. But it, the point being is that if you have $600 million between the two of them, or somewhere in that area, or half, okay, let's say they got $100 million. It's like, it just kind of blows my mind that, that she wouldn't use an attorney to file the divorce proceeding, and she filed her on her own. So there's a whole bunch of different, and I have my own thoughts of why she would have filed today, why she would file. And at least like I said, the TMZ report is showing that it was filed on her own and not necessarily with the assistance of counsel. But um, again, that could be something that, in the coming days, that maybe it's shown a little bit different. Maybe the docket updates. I did actually look at the docket. I looked at the Los Angeles County Superior docket. It's public record. You can look online. Again, being a divorce attorney, I'm very used to kind of going through court dockets and court, information to see kind of what's going on. And I've looked at a lot of these celebrity divorces, and especially during Kanye and Kim Kardashian's divorce, I was looking through their docket, and you can, see a lot of the information. Again, this is all public record. This is information, part of the court process is, for it to be public record and for it to be out there. And that's just part of the way the legal system works. So this is public information that's put out there. And, I'm looking at it's called the case summary. If I got that in front of me, I could probably bring that up on the screen, but I'm not able to do that right now. I had some software before. I used to stream a little bit more, a little bit over a year ago. And I had some different software that I could bring up some of the documents. And maybe as this case continues to go on, I might kind of do that as well, because I think it is kind of helpful for people to see the documents as we're going through it. But the interesting thing about this case docket online right now that I'm looking at, and unfortunately I can't put it put it on there, but it's very plain. All it says is Jennifer. And when I was searching for the case number, and when I was searching for the case, so Jennifer Lynn Lopez. So that's actually her name. Again, that's her maiden name, Jennifer Lynn Lopez. So I was like looking up Jennifer Lopez, and I don't know, for some reason I forgot to look up Jennifer Affleck. So not Affleck like the duck, but Affleck, Ben Affleck. I've said it like the Affleck, like, the AFFLAC, the Affleck duck. But anyways, so it's actually under Jennifer Lynn Affleck, a flick. I'm gonna mess this up because I'm thinking Jennifer Lopez. I'm not, I mean Ben, and then and then you put them together. It's obviously bennifer. That makes it a little bit easier. So the bennifer divorce filed today by Jennifer Affleck, the duck. Anyways, so she filed in Los Angeles. It's filed it's called the Stanley Mosk Courthouse. Stanley Mosk, M-O-S-K. So that courthouse, and it's important where these celebrity divorces, like Jennifer Affleck, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, Angelina Jolie, Dr. Dre. We did a video on that one, a couple videos on Dr. Dre's divorce as well. Like literally all those cases all are in the Stanley Mosk Courthouse. So they all filed them, and I guess that's because it's like centralized in kind of like the Beverly Hills and Los Angeles area. But it's just always interesting that like when you're searching these cases and looking at them, that it's all, backed around to the Stanley Mosque courthouse. So, again, there's not a whole lot of information on the case summary. There's some information, but that's kind of the main information is that she filed. That's the big one. That's the one that everybody was just, again, pretty blown away about, that she went ahead and filed. And then again, that there's no attorney listed. Usually you'll see, like, under party information, you got Ben as the respondent, so that's the person responding to the divorce, and then you got Jennifer as the petitioner. That's the person that filed it. But then there's no attorneys listed. Now, this could have been like somebody was like quickly, inputting it in. I could imagine, at the clerk's office, or and they're just like inputting the different divorces of the day and the different cases. They got a bankruptcy case and all that, and they got this case that's been filed, and landlord tenant case, and then and they're just inputting away, and they see Ben Affleck and Jennifer Affleck. But again, it's Beverly Hills, it's the Los Angeles, it's the main celebrity courthouse, it's the clerk's office that's getting this. But this must have probably came across somebody's desk today, and they put in the information, and again, it's not listed. I'm looking at it right now at the court docket. I'm looking at it right now on the case summary, and there's no attorneys listed. So again, as an attorney, and I'm a divorce attorney in Florida, not California, but again, these California cases are all public record. You can access them online. You can look at it, and I'm looking at it online, and I'm looking at the court docket, and there's no attorneys listed. So Jennifer Lopez decided today, like, drank her coffee, got up, hot Pilates, whatever. I mean, she looks amazing. So whatever she does in the morning. And then just went down to the courthouse and filed for divorce by herself. I mean, again, that's a simplified version of it, because I'm sure there was like an entourage and all that kind of stuff. So I don't think it was just like her just rolling in, just like going through security, like, okay, give me the packet of papers. Like most, like normal people, when they go down to file for divorce, they get a packet of paperwork and they start filling it out, and they're sitting there in a room, and they're going through the whole stuff, and then they file it, and they pay a filing fee, and they give it to them, and they think like, oh, okay, well, I filed for divorce. Okay, cool. And then, they're like, okay, is that it? Like, now what do I do? And then it's just like, same as this, like, she filed it, and now it's like, okay, now what next? It just started today, and it's kind of crazy, from the standpoint of, with as large of an estate, it's crazy to think that there's it's just a set of circumstances. And TMZ broke the story that the three big ones for me. Number one is she filed without an attorney. That's a big one. That's just surprising to me, and not just because I'm a divorce lawyer. I'm just saying, like, she's a celebrity. She can afford to pay an attorney. It's not like paying somebody, like, there's literally no divorce lawyer in what is it? The one that's done Kim Kardashian's, I think it's like Laura Wasserman, Laura Wasser, Laura Wasser. Sorry, I'm butchering it. Laura A. Wasser. I mean, she's done like every single divorce. I mean, she's done like a ton of different divorces over there. Kim Kardashian, Johnny Depp. I'm just looking at a New Yorker article. Ton of different ones, and it's like, I have no idea what her hourly rate is. I would imagine it's probably at least $1,000 an hour, in that area. But again, and sometimes people would be like, "Oh man, $1,000 an hour? That sounds crazy. That sounds like a lot. Why would an attorney be charging that much?" It's like, I mean, if their estate is $600 million and they're going to be fighting over all kinds of different stuff, and even still, with it's only a 2-year marriage, just using an attorney to get it resolved and to get it over with and get it done correctly, to me, just makes the most sense to me. And that's just me. That's just me. So number one, big surprise, that I saw from the TMZ article is that Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce today. And I guess that's the number one surprise is that she filed today. That's number one. Okay. Number two, or like 1A, is that she filed without an attorney as well. Other big surprise. And again, I like as an attorney, like normally I would like to like prepare this stuff and I'd like to have some of these documents, like to have some of this information that I could like, show this like sequentially and maybe have some like cool graphics or something. This just they just filed this today. I mean, she just filed this today. It just like popped up, and I'm like, what the heck? Like, where where did this come from? So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go live and jump on there and just start talking about it because, again, it's interesting to me. I think it might be interesting to a lot of people. So, and if you have any questions, there's a chat. You can ask it, and I'll try to do my best to answer it. But the next biggest thing is it doesn't look like they had a prenup. Inquisitive look at the camera. Is that the point where I mean, why not have a prenup? Like that again also blows my mind. Like where this is their second marriage. This is to each other. Like, I mean, this is his second divorce. This is her fourth marriage. At what point do you not say, like, you know what, a prenup? This is going to sound wild, Mrs. Lopez, but a prenup. Have you seen the movie Jiggly? Like, things don't always turn out the way you expect, right? I mean, that's just life. Like sometimes it just doesn't turn out the way you would expect it to turn out. They're people, yes, they're celebrities. Yes, Ben Affleck, I mean, Good Will Hunting, amazing movie. Love his, some of the movies he's been in. Definitely the Good Will Hunting, and a whole host of other ones. He's had some, great career. Awesome story with him and Matt Damon. Just all of that. Like great story, from that side of things. But it's like, and obviously, can't even get started on Jennifer Lopez of how amazing her career. I remember on In Living Color when she was a fly girl. Like, I just remember all this and all the steps that she's taken to get to where she's at. But at the end of the day, and this is what I realized as well, and like dissecting and looking through the Kim Kardashian and Kanye divorce as well. I mean, they're just people. They are people. Yeah, they have like teams and they have like a lot more money than I do, and then probably a majority of other people do. And if everybody else watching this has more money than they do, then kudos. Well done on your investment decision making. But they got a lot of money sometimes. And sometimes there's, that's a whole other, like we've gone through that and other analysis of other cases where especially in these celebrity situations where it looks like they have very large estates. It looks like there's a lot of assets and money, but it's all leveraged to the hilt. Like there's loans on loans on loans on loans and get in debt and people owe everybody. And then there's so much money going out on a monthly basis because of the lifestyle. Like, I did a video on the Dr. Dre divorce, like the gardening expenses. I mean, it was like thousands of dollars a month. Like, like so many times, and as being a practicing divorce lawyer for 18 years, I generally see a lot of times, like depending on what level you get to of where you were at in life and what you're making, sometimes people spend very close to that. Very, very, very close to that. Some people are very good savers and it doesn't matter. But a lot of people spend up to that level or above. So even in Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck situation, they still could be, spending more obviously than in a lot of these celebrity situations. They still could be spending more than what they're actually bringing in. So we'll get to see a little bit more of the financial disclosure, throughout the course of their divorce, because that's literally like one of the only things that was filed in the case. And I'll get to that. Like I have some different things I wanted to talk about. It's a little, and I apologize for it, like a little disjointed, um, uh, because this information just kind of came out today. But as a roadmap to this live stream, ideally, what I've been talking about and what I've been going through is just the fact that Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce today, just out of the blue. Just, I'm filing for divorce. I'm going for it. Me and bennifer 2.0 is done. We are over. She's filing. The next thing that we talked about a little bit is the fact there was no prenup. So that to me was a big, part of it. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit more. And then also, and this is another big one, they filed without a settlement. And sometimes people are like, oh, what are you talking about? Like that's why you file for divorce, because you want to settle. It's like, no, not necessarily. Sometimes you file for divorce when you already have a settlement in place. Sometimes you already have an agreement. Sometimes you already have, and that was what I thought that they were going to be doing. I did a YouTube short that I posted a couple weeks ago, and I said, I said it so like emphatically, and that's just just another example of attorneys like we're just, especially if we're looking at other people's situations, like sometimes we're just making what we would think an informed decision or observation of it, but my thought was there's no way they're going to file this case without a settlement already in place, and that is not the case. Like they don't have a settlement agreement. At least it wasn't filed today. I'm looking at the court docket right now. I have that up in front of me, and it's not showing anything of a settlement. It's just a petition for dissolution without minor child. It's a basic petition, and so what that means is that it's filing for divorce. That's as simple as that. That's what it is. You file a petition in court, and I can get to the legal side of that, or I can just kind of like not. But and again, feel free in the chat to ask me questions that you have, and I can try to answer those to the best of my ability. But for the petition that's filed, that just starts the case. That's the initial document, and that's what Jennifer filed today. So Jennifer Lopez filed Jennifer Affleck, because again, I was searching for the case and looking for the case information, and I'm looking for Jennifer Lopez, and I'm searching for Jennifer Lopez, and it's actually Jennifer Affleck. So anyways, so Jennifer Affleck filed a petition. It's called Petition Dissolution Without Minor Child. And that's all she filed. The two other documents in the case file. So in Jennifer Lopez's divorce, in the actual case, and this is looking at it from an attorney perspective. So that's just, I'm an attorney. I'm looking at it from the perspective that I know how to, because, I've talked to probably 5,000 people over the years about their divorce situations and custody disputes and things like that. Dealt with well over 1,000 cases, and looking at different cases and looking at this information for me is, I look at it from a little bit of a different context. But so from, like I said, the only document that she literally filed in the court is the petition, and again, I don't have that document. When that becomes public record, that is something that I would request from Los Angeles County Superior Court. They have an online ability to get access to those documents to look at it. But in the TMZ story, and they were the ones that broke it. So TMZ, they got ahead of it. They figured it out. And they said they have sources that have seen the petition. And they have a little bit more information about, that, like the separation date, where she lists what the separation date is, where they got married. But she didn't mention in the document, and this is, kind of that TMZ article that they posted today. And again, like I said, they got ahead of it, way before everybody else. There's been some other sources that have now cited back to that TMZ article, but basically saying that, in the documents that were filed, that there were, it doesn't say whether there's a prenup, and that there were sources, that TMZ has said with knowledge that have said that there is no prenuptial agreement. So that was one of the surprises for me, was no prenuptial agreement in their divorce, allegedly. So, maybe it'll turn up that she'll revise it and she'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot to attach it, or, here, I don't know. But, for the most part, it is still something that they can, all this can change, probably overnight. I'm sure probably wake up tomorrow and there could be a different, situation that, maybe Jennifer Lopez will hire an attorney and get an attorney on, involved, and will, have somebody be able to help her out with that, and kind of fix some of this stuff. But for me, what I'm thinking, at least from the, again, a guess, I guess, a guesstimate of what was occurring, and why Jennifer Lopez just kind of just filed on her own today, just said, oh, Tuesday sounds like a great day to file for divorce. So I'm just going to go to the courthouse, and again, how it was specifically filed, I don't know. I don't know how she actually did it, but again, it's appearing like it's on, it was on her own, that she did it without, because as an attorney, we file everything electronically. That's just what we do. We file all of our cases, all of our documents. It's all electronically filed through an e-filing system. Again, Tampa, Florida, a divorce lawyer. So California is a little bit different, but I would imagine they have a very similar system of e-filing over there. So whether or not, how she actually filed it, I don't know. I don't know if she did it electronically, if, oh, yep. So, and then thank you for the comment. So, hey girl, said, I cannot believe she didn't hire an attorney in the first place. So yeah, that's a big, and thank you for the comment. And again, anybody that wants to comment, wants to put something in the chat, I'll try to, answer it to the best that I can. But yeah, not hiring an attorney in the first place was very surprising. But this is one of the things that I think why. Okay, and this is, again, just a guess. So they've been working on settlement discussions. At least that's what TMZ says, and they're citing to people, and people cites the team. I don't know, whatever. They're all citing somewhere saying that they've been working on these settlement negotiations for months. Months they've been trying to do this all behind the scenes. So for me, and again, and if this happens, like, that's what it is, like, I'll just be like, ooh, yeah, that was my idea on August 20th, like at 11:24 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if it's not, I'll just be like, okay, well, I guess I was wrong on that. But I think the negotiations, and again, I have no knowledge of it. I am not Jennifer Lopez's attorney. I'm not Ben Affleck's attorney. But again, I think things were not going very well. And I've done this for 18 years. I've done divorce law for 18 years. It's kind of an empowering thing to file, and I have, assisted, numerous people, like I said, over the years, filed lots of divorces, and definitely I have seen a lot of relationships that were able to, they were they reconciled because of the filing, like that drawing the line in the sand of saying, I'm filing, we are done, this is over. Sometimes that jolts the other person. And I'm not saying that's why Jennifer Lopez might have done that. I don't think she wants to be back with Ben Affleck. I don't think they want to be together. I think they're kind of done. But I think there was a I think this was it was not going the direction that either one of them wanted to go. And I think Jennifer Lopez, as a way for her to say, we're done with this, I need to move it forward. She is a powerful woman. She is. I mean, it's clear, and I think this might have been kind of a power play. This might have been like, maybe there was a settlement discussion or negotiations that just weren't going well. And she's like, I'll file. I can do that. And she has a right to do that. She showed it. She said, I don't care. And that's sometimes in these situations, these celebrity cases, they're so concerned about wanting to keep everything secretive and kind of behind closed doors and not wanting people to know about what's going on. But it could be a situation like, this could be that she said, I'm done with this. I'm done with the direction that it's going. I want it over with, and I'm just going to file. And then she, like I said, woke up, got her coffee, and went down and filed. It's pretty surprising. I mean, it's definitely one of the more surprising ones. A lot of the stuff that happened during Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's divorce, that one surprised me because he kept firing attorneys like over and over and over and over again. And like the stuff he was doing on Instagram and stuff like that. But it's, again, as a divorce lawyer, you sometimes see people not at their best. Sometimes you do see them at their worst. Or just, I mean, not everybody, but just, sometimes you will see them not in a good place, or maybe the other side is not in a good place. And, it's tricky. So yeah, that part of her filing without a divorce lawyer, very, very surprising to me. So also comment, hey girl, love the handle. Well, this is their 2-year anniversary, and yeah, so they were married. I think, let's see here. So they had a wedding ceremony in Georgia, like today, 2 years ago. So August 20th of 2022. So yeah, I mean, 2 years. So it's a significant date. So that could be something that played into it. A lot of this is kind of like reading the tea leaves and trying to figure out, why it happened. But it is interesting that, the second anniversary, because they got married July 16th of 2022. So yeah. Oh, so I'm looking at that. I might be. So they got married in Las Vegas. Okay. So that's what it was. They got married in Las Vegas in July, but then they had a more kind of like a bigger ceremony and all that. And that was something that they did in Georgia on, I guess, so that would be August 20th of 2022. So yeah, could have had something to do with it. As far as filing on the day of it, like from a legal perspective, I mean, sometimes people will ask me as an attorney, like, when should we file? Should we file, before we hit a certain period of time? Should we file, and again, there are benefits in certain situations, but in a situation like theirs, where, again, their net worths, both of them are massive. It's huge net worth. They're both going to be fine. Like, it's like, you don't need to worry about either one of them. Like, they're both going to be completely fine. Like 1,000%. No, they're going to be fine. But could there be arguments about something? But, filing on the date of the traditional ceremony and that date, maybe it was something that, yeah, that J-Lo thought that she wanted to do. So it's interesting. So, and also thank you for the comment. JLo was hoping to work it out. That's the thing. Ben is the one who left. Yeah. I mean, so I've been looking through this for a little while because I was in Italy over the summer, and it was kind of around the time that Jennifer Lopez went to the Amalfi Coast and was going over there, and she went um, on her own. And it kind of looked like she was working, just kind of doing her own thing, and he was kind of doing his own thing, and the whole stuff with like Jennifer Garner and all that, like confusing, very, very confusing for me, of what is up with that and what's going on. But yeah, I mean, it does seem like they made some decisions at some point, um, obviously to sell the house, to move on with that, living in separate residences and all that. So, who was the one that wanted it and who didn't? I guess that's something that I'm sure both of them will probably give interviews, maybe to some extent someday. Probably not anytime right now. Definitely, I doubt during the course of the divorce will they want to be going through it, and to we saw that in Kim Kardashian and Kanye's, um, in Kanye's divorce, that they didn't really give any. Well, Kanye would just jump on Instagram and just then delete his account, or delete everything. But so he would kind of give like little statements, and Kim would kind of give it through either family members or probably however. So they would kind of give statements, but they wouldn't give like large scale interviews. So whether one of them or both, whether J Lo and Ben, or neither one, or are going to give some type of an interview, I mean, I think they'll probably do statements. The kind of the newer thing that we've been seeing more and more is like releasing, like on their Twitter slash X, they'll say, they'll release like a press release almost, and some of them are like drafted with the assistance of like PR and attorneys and stuff like that to kind of put it out there. Like Gwyneth Paltrow's, her divorce, when they did the whole conscious uncoupling thing, and they did a large, kind of press release about that. Tom Brady, when they got a divorce, they did like a multi-slide thing. I think it was on Instagram. I'm not sure. I don't remember if it was Instagram or if it was on X, but or both of them probably. So they put the information out there, and they basically said like, hey, here's what it is. And that was the thing with Tom Brady, because that was a pretty big one that was relatively recent, and it was very non-messy. Like Tom Brady, and I mean, it was that prototypical, like, people know something's weird's going on, and then boom, it's filed. They've already settled it because they've been working on the agreement for months. And that's what Jennifer, apparently, that's what they're saying, is that Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have been working on this for months. They've been trying to get this figured out. They've been trying to settle this for months, and they were not able to get to a resolution. They were not able to get to an agreement. And that's why, as a divorce lawyer, I was blown away that they didn't file with an agreement. They didn't just say, here's our agreement, here's what we want, we've come to terms. It's a 2-year marriage. 2 years. Their $60 million Beverly Hills mansion, that's one of their largest pieces of property. It is a community property state. That's a whole other, like, I'm not even gonna touch that legal principle. I'm a divorce lawyer, but I'm not a California divorce lawyer, and I'm not touching community property. That the idea of talking about that. But the thing, and I talked about it earlier in the video, is there's no prenup. So that also kind of just creates some weird stuff that is so unnecessary in a situation like this. And it's unnecessary, but that's where the emotional component goes into that. And so the next comment, JLo filed because her ego is hurt. She would gladly go back to him, but she finally accepts that Ben doesn't want the marriage. So Yeah. I mean, again, that's another one. And it's confusing for you, but not confusing to Ben because he's a big baby and selfish. Um, yeah. I mean, again, I don't know who is the problem in this, and I guess we're not going to know until we see, who was the one that was holding this up. Was it Jennifer or was it Ben? Because it had to be one of them. I doubt it was both. I'm guessing it was one of them was dragging things on and kind of creating issues and maybe asking for more than what they deserved. And that's the issue with the no prenup. That's the huge issue with the no prenup. If they would have had a prenup in place, oh my gosh, like this would have been so much easier. But I think possibly because there is no prenup, could be the thing that's creating the additional, completely unnecessary issues. No prenup in a case like this blows my mind as a divorce lawyer. I just again, it's hard for me to fathom why they would not want to um, uh, put in writing before they get married. If this was their first marriage, maybe it's like okay, but it's their second marriage. If you've watched the movie Jiggly, you'd know that like sometimes bad things happen, you know, like it's not all going to be perfect. Life is not going to be perfect. So to not have a prenup again just blows my mind. So that not having a prenup, could have opened the door for some issues that you know probably shouldn't have occurred. There's no reason um and yeah, so absolutely prenup. So I'm reading the comment. Absolutely, prenup makes everything easier, much easier. Takes all the guesswork out of the equation. Absolutely, I agree with you 100% because and I'm a huge proponent of prenups. And sometimes people are like, well, it's because you're an attorney and you want to, get people to pay you to do it. Sure, whatever. I do want to get paid for what I do. I am an attorney, but I'm just saying, as I would tell anyone, any of my friends, anybody I know, and I tell everybody in all the videos. I have 200 videos on YouTube, and I tell people get a prenup because you want to tell the state what to do. If again, Florida attorney in Florida. So you want to tell Florida what to do. You don't want Florida to tell you what to do. Like for them, you want to tell California what to do. You don't want to have California tell you what to do. For like it blows my mind that they would not want to do that. And sometimes again, the planning factor for a prenup is sometimes the reason why it doesn't pan out and it doesn't actually sometimes they don't plan ahead of time enough. Sometimes people think it's not romantic, sometimes feel that it's not something that is is going to help them in the long run or whatever, but it's just for this to me seems like a really bad business decision. Like I just it blows my mind. I mean, with their net worths, there's literally no reason whatsoever to not have a prenup in place. And if again, because this is based upon the TMZ article, which is they're saying that their sources are saying that that they have knowledge that there was no prenup in place. So that's that can create issues with earnings, the income during the marriage, things that they bought, it just, I mean, it's completely unnecessary. So that's the issue. And they've had a bunch of movies, they've had a bunch of shows, and she had her tour and all that. I mean, there's just been a lot that's happened even just during the 2 years. I mean, that Dunkin' Donuts commercial was kind of amazing. It was pretty funny. The Super Bowl ad one, the Dunkin' Donuts, it wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. So also a comment, if Amber Heard had a prenup, she actually would have been better off. Instead, she had a tiny settlement from Johnny Depp. Yeah, I mean, it's, prenups are, in every situation, it's always going to be different on, kind of, there's definitely some situations where it kind of flips. You would think it would go one direction and it goes another, but for the most part, it's just, you're at least putting it into, you're putting it into writing, you're drawing up a contract, you're coming to a resolution on what would happen in the event there was a divorce. And for me, it just, in a situation like this, and their first marriage was just like, it was kind of a mess, and it was messy, and the divorce, and and then you could also do, in Florida, and again, I don't want to talk to what they're able to do in their state, but I mean, in Florida, you could do what's called a postnuptial agreement. So it's not a prenup, it's after, like, when you remember, you've probably seen all the, they take pictures of Ben, and he's sitting there, and he's just like, oh, and then they kind of did that Dunkin' Donuts commercial to kind of make fun of that. And he's, he just needed his Dunkin' Donuts, and he always just looked disenfranchised and whiny and all that. So again, there was definitely writing on the wall for a while that maybe things weren't going the right direction. They could have at that point been like, hey, if something is gonna, if something might go wrong again, just the off chance maybe that, could, why don't we, enter into some type of a postnuptial agreement, an agreement, after the marriage, the wedding ceremony. I mean, so it's another option. And, in certain states, some states may not have that ability to do it. But again, it just, prior to them buying that $60 million mansion, again, that's a conversation they probably could have had at that point of like, okay, well, why don't we try to resolve like what's going to happen in the off chance, that this doesn't work out. So another comment, they thought they would be unromantic with a prenup, but watch how unromantic this gets once it starts going into divorce. Yeah, getting ugly in the divorce. I mean, that's the biggest, as a divorce lawyer, that's the biggest thing that I hear from people of why they don't want to get a prenup is sometimes because they feel like it's unromantic or it's hard to ask for, you know. Um, they don't want to go into that type of discussion. And because the cost part of it, that always blows me away when people are like, "Oh, why don't we do it?" I mean, again, it's an insurance policy. It's like you're just ensuring that in the event something happens, that you have something in place. But I mean, you'll pay more a lot of times for like linens for your wedding than you would for a prenup, like linens or like a videographer. I mean, no knock on the linen industry, but linens, like tablecloths and like sashes on the back of your chairs and stuff like that. Like, so it's like if you're going to pay that much for linens for your wedding, like why not just have a prenup? Why not have something in place? And I would love to know what the linens were like at Bennifer's wedding, or at least the videographer. I mean, the videographer had to be really, really legit. So again, you're going to pay for that, and then so like in a situation like this, it just gets, it's like tenfold you're saving, if you have a prenup in place. So yeah, it's very unromantic, from the standpoint of now, the entire world gets to, watch this all play out, and for Kim Kardashian and Kanye, because again, that was another just mega celebrity, just completely unnecessary, litigation and all that. And some of it could have been fixed through, everybody kind of coming to the table and really working towards a solution. But I know during that case, at least from the filings in the case, like Kanye fired his attorney like 4 times. There's, 4 different attorneys and all that. So it's usually not a good sign of that, things are going in the right direction. But for the most part, it is not always the most romantic thing, to ask for a prenup, but it just makes a whole lot of sense when you have the possibility of something like this happening. Um, I just it blows me away because, like I said, I literally just made a video on this. So if you look at my channel, like I have like a video from last week, and I'd shot that video like a month before because I was just like, oh yeah, there's no way they're not gonna have a prenup. I mean, why would you not have a prenup? Of course you're gonna have a prenup. But I think I did say in there, I need to like listen to that video again now because I'm just blown away because I think I said, well, if they didn't, then there'd be problems with it, and here's, but they didn't do it. They didn't, or at least that's what TMZ is reporting, that they did not, there was no prenup. So if there's no prenup, um, that is, it's extremely, extremely surprising. So again, some of those big surprising things, just a little recap on some of the stuff. I still got some more things I want to talk about. And again, um, thank you for posting in the chat, and anything else that you want to ask, just keep asking. It's approaching midnight Eastern Standard Time, but I got some water, so I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. So I'm going to keep going through this for a little bit because again, this is interesting to me, and this is one that again we saw that it might be coming. Their benefit divorce, it might be happening, but we didn't know it was going to happen obviously today, and we definitely did not know that it would happen the way it did. So recapping a little bit, Jennifer Lopez filed for divorce today, August 20th, 2024. So that's, again, surprise. I mean, kind of a surprise. Not really a super surprise, but kind of a surprise. Big surprise. Reportedly, she did it without an attorney. She filed on her own. And another big surprise, she filed without a prenup. And another big surprise, she filed without a settlement agreement. So all of those different things, all surprises, all completely surprising. TMZ said it as well. Shocker, yeah, it's shocker. Not expecting that because, again, most of these celebrity divorce cases, you file with a settlement agreement. You've already agreed on everything, and then you just put it in the court file, and then you zip it up, and you're just like, get the judge to sign off after, they do what they need to do, but they have the attorneys that can do that. And I at least what I have seen previously and kind of looking through some stuff on this case, both of them apparently had retained legal teams, and they had been discussing different things. I don't know who they were or who they both got, but if it's California, it's probably kind of, there's a number of kind of celebrity divorce lawyers that run in those areas that a lot of people will turn to kind of the same attorneys throughout the area. And, it may be something that they've just been trying to work on it confidentially for the last couple months. And then again, Jennifer decided today was the day. So another comment, JLo would have exploded if Ben came to her asking for a post-nup. He's too much of a wuss to do that. Instead, he would backstab her, which he basically did. By the way, I'm not a JLo fan. I mean, it's okay to not be a JLo fan. It's okay not to be a Ben fan. I mean, again, it's okay to have your own opinions on all this. And I think from this, I think that there's a completely different way that they could have resolved all of this. And like I said, even without the prenup. So, if there's no prenup, then yeah, they didn't have to, they didn't have to do the postnup either. They could have just settled this case. Like there's no reason for it. Now, and maybe this is again, and we talked about this a little bit earlier in the video, that, it might've just been like, hey, this is drawing the line in the sand. And saying, hey, we are, well, for Jennifer, because she's the one that filed it, her saying, this is it, we're done. It's over with, and we're gonna move on. So another comment: divorces make some people unreasonable. Prenups are absolutely essential to avoid the hassle and walk away with mental health intact. Um, yeah, yeah. Um, I've been telling clients for years, because I'm a practicing divorce attorney in Tampa, Florida. So for 18 years, I've been doing divorce work, and I tell people that it only takes one person to be unreasonable in a divorce. Hopefully, you as my client, if they are retaining me, is not going to be the one that's going to be the unreasonable one, and hopefully they'll be the reasonable one. And the other side, if they're going to be unreasonable, it can create some problems. But again, most of these things are resolved. The statistics for normal divorce cases, it's like 80 to 90, maybe not 90, 85, 80 to 85% cases settle when you have an attorney involved. Like it's a very, very high settlement rate when there's an attorney involved. So that's why with both Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck apparently having legal teams at their disposal, they can get whoever they want. I mean, frankly, they can get any attorney that they want. There's no, maybe they're conflicted out in certain ones. Yeah. So quite a few divorces between the two of them. I don't remember if they're all California divorces or not, but again, like if an attorney represented J Lo, her spouse for one, then obviously they couldn't represent for her. So again, there can be conflicts, and multiple divorces can kind of conflict attorneys out. And then like in the Kim Kardashian and Kanye, like Kanye went through about 4 different attorneys, so again, that, but, so the idea there is, it just takes one person to be unreasonable in the divorce. And as an attorney, you try to get your client to be the reasonable one, to move things in the right direction, to get going in the right way, that you can get to a resolution and you can get it resolved and move on with your life. So the unreasonable side of it is just unfortunately something that we're likely dealing with in this case. There's probably somebody out there that is not being reasonable. Could be Ben, could be J Lo, don't know. I'm sure everybody has their ideas and their suspicions of who it might be. But so let's see another comment. There's no prenup because J Lo thought it unfathomable to part with Ben. She's crazy about that man. Unfathomable to part with Ben. I mean, he's a cool dude, but I don't know about unfathomable. She's Jenny from the block, 6 train from the Bronx down to, I lived in New York for a little while, so I'm a big fan of New York. And I think she's going to do fine. I think she's going to do okay after this. I'm pretty sure she's going to do all right. And she can do whatever she wants. If she wants to go for wedding number 5, marriage number 5, she can go for marriage number 5. That's up to her. That's her right to go for that and to do that and to live her life the way that she wants to. But I think something is standing in her way at this point right now, and that's something apparently seems to be Ben Affleck, because that's why she filed for divorce today. And she said, "All right, Ben, we're not doing this anymore. We are filing for divorce and we are done." So another comment: it looks unprofessional for both of them. Better yeah, so okay, the professional part. So they're both obviously super big mega celebrities, right? And then, it they need to get this resolved. They need to figure this out. So it might just, again, and that's the that's the benefit sometimes of if they have good attorneys. And again, I'm curious to know who they have. I'm sure that'll come out at some point. I'm sure they'll say, all right, okay, this needed to be done to get us from point A to point T. We need to get this thing done. We need to get this thing resolved. And if that gets them to this, to that final resolution, because Jennifer filed. So if that's what gets them there, then that's great. But yeah, there's the it does look unprofessional. It looks very odd that Jennifer would file on her own because again, it just doesn't, to me it makes sense because she can. And again, it is she, again, like I said before, she's a powerful woman. She can do whatever she wants. She can go out there and she can file for divorce if she wants to. I mean, she's just like, I came from, humble beginnings. Like, I don't care. Like, I want this over with. I want this done. And if he is not being reasonable in the negotiations, if Ben is basically saying like, nope, I want more of this or I want more of that. I just, I don't know what their, net worth split. So their net worth split for Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck. IMBD, they really have this information? Does IMDb have this information? Like IMDb used to just be about like movies and you get information of like, like who are the actors and the directors and stuff like that. But apparently they have other information as well now. 640 million together, super not helpful. IMDb, thanks a lot. Are we going to go with page? Let's go with page 6. Page 6 is going to have the information. It's going to be juicy. It's going to be good. Oh, is this recent? Okay. So yeah, this was like tonight. So page 6 was like, hey, let's get a story out there. All right. Okay, cool. So page 6 article. Not to mention the 55-year-old launched her ready-made cocktail brand DeLola last year, pushing her net worth to reported 400 million as of 2024. 400 million. And she didn't have like $5,000 to give to an attorney to retain to file the divorce. I'm like, okay. I know that I say Laura Wasser again. I am a huge fan of Laura Wasser. Amazing attorney, amazing divorce attorney. I'm just saying, like, I'm guessing Laura Wasser's more expensive than 5,000 for a retainer. I'm just saying, like anybody, like somebody in Beverly Hills, they just, here you go. Here's, whatever. File this for me. $400 million. Okay. And then Ben Affleck, this is all from page 6. He wrapped production on The Accountant 2. He started Air and Hypnotic and produced The Instigators during their marriage. I knew of none of these things. I am really bad at keeping up with some of these types of things. I don't watch a lot of movies. I used to watch a lot of movies. I think movies used to be better. Movies used to be better. I think I saw an interview with Matt Damon. So Ben Affleck's buddy, basically explaining why movies used to be better. But anyways, I don't know. So I digress. The Accountant 2. I know what The Accountant 1 was. Okay, so now I guess there's The Accountant 2. So he's wrapping production on that. And then Air and Hypnotic. No idea what either one of those are. Sure, they're amazing. I just don't know what it is. His net worth is reporting lower than hers at 150 million. Okay. So that's where that still doesn't equal 650, but so page 6, looks like they have a little bit more information. Page 6 is coming with the good details. All right. I mean, hey, this is just me. I don't have like teams of reporters and Just me Googling things, looking at the Los Angeles County Superior docket. Oh, that's my computer. That's not good. It sees Jiggly. It sees that. Okay, so they got a little bit more information about the filing. Okay. It says that she waived spousal support and asked the judge to deny any spousal support claims from Affleck. So, I mean, that'd be hilarious if there if the whole hang up for this entire thing was Ben's like, babe, you've seen these Dunkin' Donut commercials, right? They're good, but I'm gonna need spousal support because they're not that good. Matt Damon's not gonna be able to come in, and Tom Brady can't come in and on every commercial with me. So I'm gonna need spousal support. I don't think it's the spousal support. I don't think it's because he wanted spousal support. So spousal support. Could that be it? I mean, I don't know. I'd be surprised, but I mean, I guess it's possible. So the singer filed for divorce same day as their second wedding anniversary. They were married in a Georgia wedding ceremony in 2022, just after when they eloped in Vegas. No, I think I just realized why they don't. That's probably why. That's probably why they don't have a prenup. Because they eloped. Okay. All right. Well, now I know that. Thanks, page 6. Appreciate it, page 6. Okay, so you learned something new. I learned something new. I know more about Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck now. So and then brought to you by page 6. Thank you, page 6. So they eloped. So they eloped in Vegas, as you do. I mean, you don't have to. I wouldn't suggest for you to do it. I mean, I guess if you want to, it's up to you. But thinking things out, doing things. Okay, so they eloped. All right, so that makes sense. That makes sense why there's no prenup. Okay, maybe is that why? I don't know. Jennifer Lopez, if you're on this chat, just tell me. Is that why you don't have a prenup? Let's do like a little emoji of like shaking your head or something. I don't know. I don't know if there's an emoji of shaking your head. What emoji would be Jennifer Lopez like agreeing with me? I don't know. Something I can't even like a dancing, like chaka chaka chaka. I don't know. That's got to be it. I mean, they eloped. So, hey, girl, you are Jennifer. You're not Jennifer Lopez. You're not. And if you are, I am impressed that you are that. That you're. Maybe you are. Maybe you are. Well, that would be awesome if you were. But I don't know. I mean, there's that would be very cool though. That would be very cool. But I don't think you are. So I'm not gonna lead anybody to believe that you are. But you can wink if because I'm looking for an attorney, LOL. Yeah, that would be unfortunate because I am in Florida and Jennifer Lopez is in California. And again, it must be because the prenup, the elopement. There's no prenup because of the elopement. But again, getting back to why not just work out something after? So okay, they elope and they're like, oh shoot, what did we do? Are we making Jiggly part 2? Is this happening? Are we making Jiggly again, like part 2? And if you don't know what Jiggly is, whatever you do, don't watch it. Um, didn't it win like one of those like Raspberry Awards or something? Is it Raspberry? Yeah, like IMBD. I don't know why IMBD is like has so much information about this, but as like a one. What does Rotten Tomatoes give Jiggly? I like Rotten Tomatoes for my. Just a weird sentence. I like Rotten Tomatoes for my information. Oh, 6% tomato meter for Jiggly. Oh man, that's rough. 14% audience score. So like really, really low. So if you don't like look at Rotten Tomatoes for movie scores, like I highly suggest Rotten Tomatoes for movie scores. Before I go to see a movie, a lot of times I'll just look at it and just be like, okay, what's their percentage? I mean, they don't hit the mark every time, but I mean, they hit the mark on Jiggly. They basically said it was one of, so for the critics' consensus, bizarre and clumsily plotted, Jiggly is a mess. As for its stars, oh, this is good. As for its stars, and this is right off the Rotten Tomatoes website. If you go to rottentomatoes.com, Jiggly, Gigli. And there are, I just realized too, there may be some, I'm dating myself. I don't usually say that, but I'm dating myself because this was released in 2003. It's 21 years ago. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. It's a long time ago. So, okay. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics' consensus. This is huge. Critics' consensus about the movie Jiggly. Bizarre and clumsily plotted, Jiggly is a mess. As for its stars, Affleck and Lopez lack chemistry. I mean, it's right there. Rotten Tomatoes got it. I mean, I like Neil Norman's the top critic. His review is the serious problem with Jiggly is the script. It's funny. Jiggly would maybe be the worst movie to come out of Hollywood all year, but it sure won't be the worst movie. Sure to be the most forgettable. Anyways, I like the audience reviews. OMG, Jennifer Lopez, so lovely. I mean, that's just nice. So yeah, Jiggly was like the worst movie in like the history of movies, and the reason they said is because the actors lacked chemistry, and they're only, I don't know if they did another one. I don't know if they did another movie together after that, but if I I don't know. I mean, but there's movies. Actually, Rotten Tomatoes has like a lot of movies that got like a 0% score. I didn't know that. I didn't know that you get like a 0. Like Jaws: The Revenge. What? I wouldn't think that would be. So again, there's some really bad movies out there, but that's not what this live stream is about. This live stream is about the lack of chemistry between Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, right? And the lack of chemistry as evidenced by Jiggly 21 years ago when they made that movie, which is horrible. But no offense to them. I say this with all of the kindness of, hey, they tried, to make a movie together, and it just was not well rated by critics or anybody. So, and then they got married twice. And now they're going to be getting divorced twice. So, obviously, the critics were right. Were correct. Their chemistry was not there, and their chemistry was not there also in their marriage. So, all right, in the chat, as I digressed into, now I'm just looking at the worst movies of all time. I'm not a Donald Trump fan, but I would much rather, we're not doing that here. We're not doing that here. This is for This is for entertainment purposes, entertainment porpoises only, entertainment dolphins or porpoises. We're not talking politics. Okay. We're not doing that. If there's 5,000 people on this live stream in 10 minutes, then yes, I'll talk about politics, but I'm just kidding. I appreciate everybody that's watching this. But I'm not talking about politics. 5,000 people on it, still not talking about politics. 10,000, I'll talk about politics. No, I'm joking. I'm not going to talk about politics. 20,000 million people. Okay, no, I'm not talking about politics. But I'd much rather watch. Why can't I read? Because it's after midnight. But I would much rather divorce someone like Trump. He is decisive, wants everything done fast. See, you took me down that path. I'm not going into the politics side of things. Okay. Back to the comments. I am Jennifer. No, you're not. You're not Jennifer Lopez. But thank you, hey girl. You've kept this going, and you're a scholarly knowledge of Jennifer Lopez, and this has been immensely helpful for any and all viewers. Never saw Jiggly. I did see the posters in the subway though. Okay, all right. I mean, you're probably. I mean, at least you saw the posters, and at least you didn't see the movie. That's good. So, live streams about lack of prenup. There's plenty of chemistry to go around. This is not about politics, it's about divorcing. Right. Lack of prenup, chemistry. Okay. So, all right. No prenup, no settlement, nada. We're in a situation now where each day that comes, there will bear the interesting news of the day of where they're going with this, because it can be a situation where tomorrow Jennifer Lopez just dismisses the case. I mean, she could just say, yeah, I'm good. That was a mistake, or that was something that I was trying to get my point across, and yeah. So I mean, there is that it could happen that Jennifer Lopez could say, I'm done here. I'm going to go ahead and just dismiss the case, and we're not going to move on with it. We're going to go ahead and either work towards settlement outside of court, or just kind of put things on hold. So I mean, that's a possibility. I mean, we could run through the different possibilities that could happen here going out. I mean, for hours. Just because, and I tell this to clients all the time, that everybody's case is different. Everybody's divorce is different. Everybody's life is different. Everybody walks in with one set of circumstances completely different than somebody else's. So nobody knows exactly the direction any case is going to go. And just like Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck, I mean, nobody expected that. Why did my camera all of a sudden get like fuzzy? Okay. Nobody knew that she was going to file today. I mean, she knew she was going to file today. I mean, like, when did she know she was going to file today? Did she know at like 10 a.m. that she was going to file? Was it last night? Was she cooking lasagna? Well, J-Lo doesn't eat lasagna. J-Lo doesn't eat lasagna. I can say that for a fact. I'm curious when she had this idea that she was going to file. Why did the camera just? I'm gonna do that. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to but it got weird. It got weird. It got a little out of focus. Okay, that's the correct terminology. I'm just talking J-Lo and bennifer here, and my computer is just like, ugh, stop it. Computer's so mad at me right now. Such a mad computer, and such a mad what? It's getting blurrier. What? There we go. Okay. Maybe I just needed to like hit something. So where do we go from here? And that, I mean, is that one of J-Lo's songs? I don't know. But I mean, it should be. She should be writing a song right now. So she's going to have to think about, where does she go from here? Because tomorrow is a new day. She made the decision at some point that, hey, on Tuesday, August 20th, 2024, Jennifer Lopez, also known as Jennifer Affleck, as I found out because I couldn't find the case on the Los Angeles County Superior Court website, because I forgot that she had changed her name. Because, I mean, everything you look at is that she's Jennifer Lopez, not that she had changed her name to Jennifer Affleck. But she did legally change her name. Appears that's why on the case it shows online that she is Jennifer Lynn Affleck, filing for divorce against Benjamin. I can't pronounce his middle name. His middle name is Geza Affleck. Geza. So I cannot pronounce. I will figure that out by tomorrow. I'll figure that out, because I think there's going to be more that's going to come out with this case. It's just, again, she could, like I said, she could dismiss this tomorrow. She could just say, you know what, no, forget it. What was I thinking? You know, our publicist and everybody comes to her and says, J-Lo, baby, that was a bad idea. let's not do that. Let's dismiss all of that, and let's just dismiss that. Let's act like that didn't happen. Yeah, and I mean, there's not much filed in the court file. Like I said, there's three things. There's three things in the court file. Three things. One, there's her petition that she filed. Petition for dissolution without minor child. That's it. That's the only thing she filed specifically. It's in the court file right now, as I speak, right now. It's the only thing in there. Petition for dissolution without minor child. Basically saying, let's split up the property. Let's, Ben, I'm not going to pay him any spousal support. I'm not giving him any money. And they don't have a kid together. So they're like, okay, let's get a divorce. Basically, it's like, let's get a divorce and let's be cool about it. And let's get it over with. That's kind of in layman's terms of what it says. But the issues obviously are much deeper than that they're not agreeing on how they're going to dissolve it and how they're going to divide the property and divide the assets, divide the debts and things like that. So the two things in there that were filed by the court today. So the court, when they get it, and I said at the beginning of the live stream, that the clerk's office, they get this stuff that comes across their desk, and they get the notice, and they have to assign the case. So that's one thing. So there's a notice of case assignment, and that assigns the case to a judge. So that basically says, okay, and it is a random assignment. Most clerks' offices and courthouses, the way they do it is, when the case comes in, it's a random assignment. So it's like, it's not like somebody sitting there going, who's going to get the bennifer case? Is Julie going to get it? No. Bob's going to get it. No. There's nobody sitting there making that decision. There's nobody sitting there going, okay, who is going to have to deal with this debacle? And maybe it won't be a debacle. Maybe it'll be like just a little debacle, not even a debacle, just a debacle. Or maybe it won't be any debacle. Maybe it'll just be like, maybe they just settle this week. Maybe they filed their settlement agreement. Maybe they accidentally, filed it and then forgot to attach the settlement agreement. That would be interesting, because everybody ran with it today. Like every news source out there is like, J-Lo filed. There's no prenup. There's no settlement agreement. She filed on her own. Like that's all out there. In the court record, and it's all out there in the news sources and in the court record. Like I said, it's just so plain that I guess it could, it's just pretty basic. It's pretty basic. So yeah, so they have to assign the case. So that's one of the documents that's in there. So there's a petition. That's J-Lo asking for the divorce. There's the notice of case assignment. That's what assigns it to a judge. And then there's an order in there, and that's an order for financial information. So these are, I am guessing, I'm assuming that this is a normal thing, and most clerks' offices and counties and circuits and all that, and states and government entities have similar ways of doing this, where they take the information. They take the information when you file it, and then they send out a whole bunch of different things, automatically. Like I said, it's not like Julie sitting there going, okay, what am I going to do with the bennifer case? Am I going to send out what judge am I going to send it to? Oh, no, it's just automatic, boom, random judge assignment. Okay, judge, gets this. Okay, so that's done. And then boom, order for financial information. So I did pull that. I've not looked at it, as I kind of just jumped on the live stream, because again, I was surprised that Jennifer Lopez filed the divorce today, so I wanted to jump on here. So it is and again, you can't see this on the screen, and I apologize for that, but I'm going to look at it. I don't know if that helps or not, but anyways, I'm going to read parts of it. So it's a court order to share financial information for divorce, legal separation, or nullity cases. So it's a court order to share information. Okay. So court order signed by a supervising judge. Again, these are probably just, automatic things that come out through the court system to just have, cases run properly. It's usually not Julie in the clerk's office. And if there is if Julie is the one that did this, I am sorry. I'm sorry for saying that. And I don't know a Julie. I don't know anybody in the Los Angeles County Superior Court clerk's office. I'm just saying, if it was Julie, that would be funny. But so Julie, when she gets this, she's got to, hit the little buttons and all that. But again, there's no Julie. It's probably just a computer that just, and you get a random assignment, and then you get the court order shooting out the that they have to share financial information. So it says the court orders that both spouses in this case must, underline the word must, comply with the duty to share financial information. And then there's some other stuff of what you got to do. And there's another one in bold. You have a continuing duty to share material financial information. So some of the information that you got to share is, so they have to exchange financial statements, valuations, important facts, access to records about all current income and expenses, and community and separate property, assets, and debts. So basically the financial statement is kind of, it's a summary of their financial picture. It's basically saying, all right, Jennifer and Ben, this is what you got. This is what you have. This is what, what was, during the divorce or during the marriage, and what the income was, and what the current expenses are, what the assets are, what the debts are. Yeah. So you provide that information, you shoot it over to the other side, and it gives some deadlines, like the petitioner, after she files the petition, she has to prepare a PDD, a preliminary declaration of disclosure. So it's form FL 140, and has to serve that to the other side. So, and then they got 60 days to do that, get the other side served with that. Respondent, after filing, they have to complete the PDD, the preliminary declaration of disclosure. So again, kind of like a financial statement, something to disclose the financial picture of both parties. Let's see. If you're asking for support or attorney's fees, fill in the blanks. on the income and expense declaration if you're asking for. So this is again. So this is a form order, because like even like this order says if you're asking for child custody or visitation orders or do not have a written parenting plan, you must do the 60-minute Our Children First program, go to family court services appointments, and yeah. So basically, that court order talks about if you're asking for child custody or visitation orders, which again, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck don't have minor children in common. So they have kids, but well, they have, yeah, you know what I mean. The 2-year marriage, then they don't have any kids. So, anyways, so again, that's another way of showing that this court order done by the judge today and sent out, it's just a form order basically saying, hey, play nice. Here's some stuff you guys got to do. You got to provide discovery and disclosure to the other side in order to make an informed decision, in order to come to a resolution and come to a full settlement. Because again, now, do I think that's the reason for this? Do I think do I think that, oh, well, Ben wasn't producing information? I mean, again, like we went through that, I think it was the Page 6 article, approximately a $400 million net worth for Jennifer Lopez, approximately $150 million net worth for Ben Affleck. I mean, they're probably disclosing it to the extent that they need to. Is it really even necessary? Is one of them really going to be needing to pay the other one like support or anything? Like, I don't think the disclosure of financial information is the issue. So again, this is an order that's put in place. I would assume, because again, I'm not a California attorney, but I would assume just kind of like in Florida, where you have certain things that you have to do. We have to do what's called a certificate of compliance with mandatory disclosure. We have to provide the legal jargon. We have to provide stuff within a certain amount of days. We have to provide financial information to their side within 45 days in Florida. But so very similar to this. But it's just to disclose the information. It's just for both of them to be able to then say, hey, now we understand what's going on. We know what's going on but do I think that the financial disclosure information is, the issue? No, I don't think that's what it is. But I also, in one of my videos that I posted a week ago, said I thought that they would probably have a prenup. And I guess they don't. So it goes to show. I mean, who knows? It's their life. They are going to live it the way they want to live it. They're going to do the things that they want to do. And if they want to elope in Las Vegas and not have a prenup and then not do a postnup or not do anything just even before buying that house, the mansion in Beverly Hills, like, why not just I don't know. Why not just come up with an agreement and say, hey, we're doing this together. If things don't work out, okay. So what if it's not money? We're just spitballing here, right? What if it's not money? What if that's not the issue? Because they don't have kids. So that's not the issue. Well, I mean, they don't have, minor children together. So that's not the issue. So it's not money. Could it be just the premise of a divorce? Like the emotional side of it, because that is something that sometimes in a lot of cases, I'm not gonna say a lot of cases, but there's many. I've done this long enough to know that it's something that comes up, something that just the premise of the actual divorce itself. Like somebody doesn't want it. Maybe Ben's like, yeah, I don't want the divorce, or I don't think it's Jennifer Lopez because she filed for divorce. So could be Ben. Could be Ben saying, I don't want the divorce. I don't know. I mean, I guess there could be that idea that maybe just the purely emotional side of it, not necessarily the financial or anything like that. It could be the emotional side of it. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. Could could be a whole host of other stuff like bad behavior type things that I'm definitely not going to get into in this video because I have literally no information to know that anybody engaged in any type of bad behavior. But that is a problem in certain divorces. Bad behavior of various forms can create significant issues in otherwise unbelievably simple cases. And this isn't simple because if they don't have a prenup and they both had like a bunch of movies, and I think she had a tour, and they bought the house, and they got income, and I'm sure they got investments, and they got all kinds of other stuff during the course of the divorce. So that's just a given that during the course of 2 years, if you don't have a prenup, you're going to have these different things that come up over time, and you're going to have to then figure it all out. And maybe they're struggling with figuring it out. So that's another thing that yeah, I mean, I'm a little perplexed as to why they can't get to a resolution on it. Maybe somebody's just asking for something more than they should be entitled to. But again, it's and again, as a divorce attorney, I've seen people argue over things during the course of a divorce, which it's unfortunate. It's really, really unfortunate that they there will be arguments that will cost significantly more than that item is actually worth. Like, I mean, I have a number of different examples. It's a little bit late Eastern Standard Time right now, so I'm not going to go through anything in depth. I mean, maybe it's at some other point. I definitely want to do another video on this as I know a little bit more. But it, like I said, it brings me back to some of those situations where sometimes it was harder to get a divorce settlement or resolution done because somebody was maybe being very unreasonable about a specific thing. I mean, that's always a possibility that somebody has really just kind of dug in their heels on something and has made it, virtually impossible to get to a resolution. So that is a rundown. Like I said, big surprises. Jennifer Lopez filing for divorce. She filed without an attorney. Apparently, there was no prenup. A lot of this was TMZ reporting. They were the first to report about the filing, and also reported there wasn't a settlement, in that filing. So that's some of the big things that, like I said, we're a little surprised, very surprised, and but again, that's it's called the human condition. We're people, we're humans, we make mistakes, we do things. Sometimes we're not always, we're not robots, we're not AI. We do make mistakes on different things. So it's unfortunate they weren't able to get it resolved prior to having to go to this level, but that's just kind of where they're at. So we'll keep our eye on it. I really do appreciate everybody throughout the course of the stream tuning in. Those that commented, I appreciate that as well. And I look forward to making additional videos about this. Subscribe to our channel, Foley Family Law. As again, like I said, I'm a practicing divorce attorney in Tampa, Florida. And I make videos about things that are within the family law context, divorce and family law related. So some of them are more specifically related to, kind of legal issues in the state of Florida. I did kind of a divorce drama series as well of information about divorce videos and kind of more entertainment type drama videos. Had some fun doing some of those. And then a lot of these celebrity videos and a lot of shorts. I've done, I think, like 60 short videos so far on the channel. So a lot of shorts on there as well. So those are something that are kind of easy to digest and kind of go through. Some of them have some very helpful information. Some of them are super annoying. I'm sure. Uh, and but for the most part, like I said, I've been doing this. That I have the information that I like to provide. I don't like to like hide things. I don't think it's necessary. This is what I've um, kind of given my entire being and self and career to, of being a divorce lawyer for as long as I have. So I have the information, and like I said, I don't hide it. So that's why my channel has as many videos as it does on divorce and family law related issues. I feel like it's you know why not share it? Why not put it out there? And if it helps people, and I know it does, and it's been definitely a very rewarding thing to hear back from people that videos have helped them. And so if you want to subscribe, great. If you want to comment, if you have other questions, if you have questions that you would like to see in a video, questions about the benefit divorce, obviously you can comment on the video. You can let us know, and we will work on additional videos in the coming days as well, just because, like I said, this was not planned. I didn't put out like a thing saying I was going to be doing this live stream, because I didn't know this was going to happen today. I was like putting my kids to bed. Well, one kid to bed. The other one, she doesn't need to go to bed. She's a teenager, so not putting her to bed, but my son, my younger son, uh, putting him to bed. And then this kind of like, this kind of blew up, and kind of realized that, oh, okay, all right, they're doing this. She did this. She filed the divorce. She's moving forward with it. And we should make a video. We should talk about it. Kind of researched it a little bit more. Like I said, I'm continuing to, I'll check the docket again tomorrow as well, just to see if there's anything else. It's filed by the court. It's filed by Jennifer. If maybe she hires an attorney overnight, or realizes, or like I said, I mean, in a lot of different jurisdictions, you can just dismiss cases and say, all right, never mind. I'm good. But curious to see how things will play out. If it's going to be a situation where, a year later from today, they're still arguing over it, or like I said, if that spurs them to get to a resolution, like over the weekend or something like that, and they come to some type of resolution and just file a settlement agreement. Because again, she knew when she filed this, that there would be a massive amount of news articles that would go out about this. She knew. So, I'm not saying that from knowledge, but I'm saying, like, she gets how the media works. She's good at, using the media to her benefit, and she's very good at it. So it's like, she knows that by doing this was like her saying, I'm done. It's over. So very interesting. Very, very interesting. But appreciate your time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening, early morning, whatever it is for you. And thank you so much. And Foley Family Law, have a wonderful day.